What's up everyone? Just doing a quick test of Kingshunt, the alpha test version available until the 25th. It is a third-person tower defense or attack type game. So as you can see here, I'm on the defender side. I've just set up a bot match 5 versus 5 and we've got some towers set up, and you know the attackers are over beyond that fog somewhere. And I wanted to test FSR because there's not that many FSR games out. Kingshunt is one of them. It's a little bit not 100% representative because of being in an alpha where I know some of the textures are probably unfinished, or at least I hope they're unfinished because they don't look that good. The quality is very blurry and low looking, and that's with everything on ultra at 3440 by 1440. So just so you guys can get an idea, because I've seen benchmarks floating around, they're showing the graphs but they're not actually going into too much detail about the state of the actual game they're testing, which kind of is very important to get a real idea. So, you know, for terrain and textures like this, I think it's pretty good for testing FSR, but when it comes to the character models, yeah, that looks pretty bad. But anyway, just for the sake of testing, just so you can see if it works, what it does, I'm just going to stay in this lane here because the FPS being in, you know, early testing does vary a lot between different areas of the map. So this is on the church map, and if I go too close up there, the FPS changes. So just down this lane with the towers attacking, you can see I'm getting around 75 FPS. Okay, and this is with FSR off. And then I'm going to turn it to ultra quality, and instantly up at 88. So we got like a 10 FPS gain, 88, even 90. And I'll just reset the counter to get a good average for, you know, wait for the tower to attack a bit more. Enemy thing. Yeah, we couldn't see the enemies coming before. They were the first time around. So yeah, we're getting around. That's a pretty decent jump for this resolution. If I go back to off, we drop back down 75-ish. I'll try not to move the camera. So 70. Oh, it's all over the place because of the NPCs, because of the bots. You can see this enemy payload coming. That's probably affecting the FPS a little. But 77, 78, 74. Reset the counter one more time. 77, 78. It's okay if there's a bit of combat going on. I mean, we can't have it too controlled because then it's not even going to be representative of actual gameplay where there's stuff happening, which is what you want. You want to see stuff getting blown up and everything. Just going to cast some spells. So yeah, we're getting a pretty good idea. It's around 70 with FSR completely off. Okay, and then if I turn it on, which doesn't pause the game, I don't die here. And you can see we went up from around 70 to 85. Although there's no minions anymore. Just reset the counter again. I'm resetting the counter constantly because of the dynamics of the game. We want a good average for the last few seconds, but with stuff happening. So, you know, with enemies dying and getting flamethrowered and everything. And if you want to see what the game's like, you can kind of do stuff like this. You can go up to towers and you can increase their range, the damage, the attack speed. Operator minions, which are the defense minions, you can make them stronger. Spend your money from kills. Although I don't know if that was upgrading this specific tower because it's not mine. I built my towers over here, so I don't know if they're shared yet. I haven't played the game that long. I built these two specifically myself. So I might have just been upgrading my one just then. Yeah, because you can see it doesn't change based on where you're standing. It just, you've got a long range tower and a close range tower. I was upgrading this one, I think, actually. This is my long range tower. So I upgraded the defense. And I don't know what the effect duration is. Spell duration, maybe. And you can see with all the bots nearby, we actually still dip down to 70 with... There's 5 bots on my team and 3 of them are here, facing down this enemy. But if I'm around 82, or yeah, around 80 here, if I turn it off, we should dip pretty low. Yeah, we're in the 60s with FSR off. So that's still like 15 to 20 FPS gain, and that's during action. It's pretty significant, I think, on ultra quality with FSR. You can see all this action going on here. It's pretty cool. The enemy attackers. If you're an attacker, you can actually change between like ranged and melee minions, And you know, there's DPS heroes, there's healers and tanks. There's 2 of each at the moment, 2 types. And it seems to be like a dark and light thing. So if you know, you can go a dark tank or a light tank, which looks more like a human. The dark tank looks more demonic. Just trying to use some of my abilities. You see the little cooldown on the bottom right? Yeah, I lost. But yeah, you could see that it was like around the 60s, 60 to 70 range, and then with FSR on, like we can even turn it on here with this chase camera. We're around 60 to 70. It is moving around a lot, so you're just gonna have to bear with it. But switching to ultra quality, we go up to 80. And our main Guardian is being attacked actually. How can we push that payload back? I don't know how. Oh, you have to stand near it. That what sends it back. Yeah. Our Guardian's low. Yeah, you can see that. 72, and then if I turn it off again, that didn't even do it. Make a difference that time. Like it doesn't look CPU bound. It could be optimization bound because it is early access. So maybe not in all specific scenarios we'll get like a good performance boost. It would depend what's happening on screen too. But yeah, we're at 63. Looking at this little fight here. The enemy's coming up. I do need to level my skills a bit though. I need reactive armor, which gives me healing. Obtain. I'm gonna obtain it. Oh, can't really do much about it. Yeah, I died. I think the enemy's gonna push and beat us actually before I can finish this video. Yeah, you can see it's like 62 when we're getting right in the enemy's faces. It's even dipping under 60 a little bit, but the average is around 60. Push them back, guys. They're on the wrong side. The bot is not prioritizing our main base.
Guardian heavily damaged.
Yeah, our Guardian's like dying. Okay, so 66 staring at this spot. Enable. 81. Don't attack me. There is a sprint ability, thankfully. Now, can I upgrade this when I'm not in combat? I don't know if these are obtained or not. It's not really clear. Or if it's just because I'm being attacked, I can't change stuff. I need help on this side. There we go. A bot's coming to help me. Thank you. Okay. So, heavy blows, vampirism. Can I sell it? Oh, that's my abilities. Where can I upgrade that? Go away. But yeah, you can see it's dropping 63, and that's with it remained on in the close combat with many bots. Need to just beat these guys so we can get some more pushback action. Alright, beat me. Okay, and now we'll try going into quality mode. I'll just leave it in each mode for a while so you guys can have a look. It's kind of weird. I'm following this ghost, but it's letting me jump the camera. Like it's a kill cam, like a death cam. But I'm able to jump. The camera is able to jump. So it's like an invisible entity when you die. Bit weird. push their payload back. Okay. Forged armor, resist 4% of all damage, fight or flight. Move speed. Can I sell this? Sell for 0 points. Okay, so you have to have slots. I see. And so I want reactive armor. And then you upgrade it at the top, I see. So you upgrade it like that. And reactive armor. Cooldown reduction. Need more money. But I can upgrade my towers at least. Probably explains why we got no defense on the right side, because my 2 towers are on the left. So I don't know. I don't know if we're CPU bound. I mean, the GPU's down at 60%, so yeah, I guess we are. Maybe from the 5 or 10 bots involved. So I might need a 5000 series CPU to really test FSR properly. It's optimization too though, because the CPU is not doing that much work, even though it's loaded around 50 on 6, 7 of the threads, 8 of the threads. You can see there. I got the vampirism going. So yeah, we did see the GPU load drop down. So if I put it down to performance, if we're really CPU bound, we'll see what happens. I think we're optimization bound, just because of the alpha, the alpha nature of the game. Like the CPU could be pushed a little bit harder than 30% across all the threads. But you can see the quality loss. Some of the textures have gotten a fair bit blurry now on ultra performance. Or on performance, sorry. I'll go back to native. And now the GPU is working again. I think it's the particle effects as well that are helping push the usage up. But this is hard though. My bots are not doing the work. Yeah, not the best game for testing. I don't even know how a tech review site is testing this game accurately. Because probably the closest thing I could do is start a custom match, right? Or go to the tutorial where you're kind of like locked into the tutorial until you do certain activities, and testing like that. So as you can see here in the tutorial, just give you an example real quick. The tutorial is super clunky as well, because you have to wait ages between every action. So preparation phase, build your defenses, choose your skills. Won't even let me do that yet. Yeah, advance forward to continue. So that it was taken that long to give me the first objective, to tell me what the Guardian is. But at the very least, you can get a still version of the testing, but it's not really applicable to gameplay with 5 bots on the screen. So now we're ready to build, and it's just going to tell me that the bottom right button is to upgrade runes. And now move to the highlighted area. But yeah, you can see, if we just ignore the tutorial, this might be the most controlled way to test, is to just like find a moving texture, or a range of textures like this. But we've got the tutorial thing on the screen popping up constantly. Or something heavy, like if I look down this lane, 74, right? You can see there's a bit of, foliage and stuff. And then I'll turn it to ultra quality. So at this we were at 74, and then on ultra quality we go up to 95. Quality. See, the GPU usage is staying up this time at 108. This is without bots though. The bots seem to be the performance hit. We get low GPU usage and Yeah. Anyway, 108. How do the textures look? I mean, that's the thing. The textures, even on Ultra, don't look that... They're unfinished to begin with, or they're just not high quality. I mean, that's a little bit better. Maybe. It's native again. I'm just looking at the edge of this tile. Whatever it is. This rim of the Guardian Circle. And you can see there's some aliasing jaggies that get worse with FSR on. But if you look at it at the right angle, I doubt they'd come up. Maybe a little bit. But you're not going to play like this. You're not going to play staring at that. You're going to be playing looking more like this, and you'll move over it like that. So when you're moving, you can't see that kind of thing. You can see it. Like, I have to literally position the camera just right to get that. See this shadow, this thing here, this edge where the crosshair's on? That's what I notice. Otherwise, everything else is about the same. Go back to native. Just stare at these plants for a bit. The biggest difference is just the FPS shooting up. So 105. 120. Look at that. Still looks pretty damn good. I think they got a little bit blurrier between Ultra and quality, but it's so subjective. Like, your eyes can trick you into thinking it looks worse just because you know it's on a lower setting. But in reality, it's like when you're playing, you're going to be all this way over here. Is it going to matter if they look slightly blurrier? Probably not. So what I do notice though is that FPS smooth feeling. That is much better. So 110 from 70, 74, 72. Okay, so this scene's got a little bit of everything. It's got moving stuff, it's got fog in the back, which I did turn down. Maybe that's from having volumetrics off because I don't like volumetric fog. No, they just look low res to begin with. See the fog over there? That looks really bad. That's just the game. That's just the state of the game at the moment. So we can't really nitpick that too much. And we've got dynamic resolution off. It's really just FSR. So 77, 90, 100. Balance. Is everything look blurrier now? Oh, it still looks around the same. I mean, without nitpicking though, I'm not nitpicking. I'm looking at this like a gamer. Like, are you gonna care? Even if there might be a little bit of blur on that rock over there. And if I turn it, thankfully, because it's so dynamic, if I turn it back up, there's like a slight increase in clarity, but it's not something I'm gonna notice realistically while playing. No, I can't even tell really when changing between the two. But the FPS is up at 114. And performance, the worst one. How does this tile look on the ground? Doesn't even look that bad. Can anyone even tell? Like, the frame rate went from 70 to 120 on performance. Can we even tell that the leaves look worse? No, they're not high enough quality to begin with. So they look a bit blurry, they just look the same. Does the fire look worse? How about this fire? Fire and steam. I was trying to jump into it. Wouldn't let me. So compared to native, like, at least you can see this rocky wall and the fire. Like, this is a good angle. We're gonna go back to native, like, which is a drastic jump. And just for now, because we've already seen the frame rate, try to have a good, like, lean forward on your monitor and have a good look at these this rocky texture in the fire. Yeah, it is blurry, but it's kind of like, was it already blurry before? It's not that drastic a jump when you're considering a 50 FPS game. Like, do I care that that's blurry now? It is slightly blurrier, for sure, I think. But the texture is just not that good quality to begin with, so it's like, it already looks a little bit blurry at native. So when it gets slightly blurrier at performance mode, if you need FPS, I mean, looking at that FPS counter is all you really need to make your decision. It's not so much about quality at this point. 67 to 130. That is crazy gains. And if we were playing at maybe, I don't have 2560 by 1440 here, do I? 1080p. We would be at 180 FPS at 1080p. We stretch this out. 1080p, yeah, we can. And it goes back to 130. I think it's putting it to, when I put it to windowed full screen, I think it's putting it to 3440. I would have to do full screen 1080p like this. Okay, so 170. Maybe we'll see the differences now because it's using a really low resolution. We go back to quality. Yeah, you can see that it's much clearer. But we're already at 118. It's not going to matter for this particular setup, like on my setup. And the result, that's the thing. Like if I get a 50 FPS gain by turning DLSS Fidelity FX Super Resolution FSR on at a certain setting with this GPU, that doesn't guarantee you're going to get the exact 30 FPS on a weaker GPU because of all the other effects involved with running ultra settings. So it's not really apples to apples if you're running a different GPU, but at least it can give you an idea of what's possible. So if I go back to, we'll just go through all of them now at 1080p. So we were at 118 by default. You wouldn't get a 6700 XD for 1080p, but maybe if you're playing something competitive. 117 to 140. 154, 53, 51. $160, but how bad is that looking though? How blurry is that looking? Yeah, that is looking pretty bad. Just these distant rock textures. And the highest we can go was around 164 with the minimum, or the lowest quality FSR settings. And how, yeah, see how much clarity and sharpness comes back to the rocks at this resolution? I think quality is as low as you'd want to go. 146 versus native 120, so still like a 20 FPS gain. That's pretty good for this scene. But anyway, back up to a more realistic resolution for this card. And performance looks fine now, compared to 1080p performance at least. That's leveling out around 100. Just how the game is weird. It's like it flatlines when I put it to quality. It just like wants to run it around 100 FPS. See that frame time graph? It goes perfectly smooth. Wonder why that is. Maybe it's just to do with the buffer. I don't know, the frame buffer on the GPU, or whatever amount of data is going in and out to the GDDR6. It likes whatever base resolution it's working with at quality for 3440. A little bit of FPS drop though. But anyway, this is just some random testing. It's not really anything controlled or specific. I just wanted to share what this setting is doing for this particular game, you know, on my system, so you guys can get a good idea of how it works and what kind of quality loss we're looking at for these textures. I also don't think I want to go under quality, like on this specific resolution as well. I like quality because it still looks really good, but the base native is down at 68. So I'm going all the way up to 100. That's like, I'm happy with that. And I'm not losing too much quality. The textures still look fairly good. So yeah, now I'll just play this tutorial out a little bit. So just say build long range, close range. I want a long range tower. You place it and then you choose the AOE range, like the radius attack section, like that. And you can also build one more. Close range tower. There's like an area you can build in the green glowing area, but you can't be too close to another tower. I want this one to kind of defend the long range one though. So it's like if they're going to run up here, this flame tower is going to shoot right at them. And is that it? Okay, it's telling me about the payload. And this is the annoying thing. See how slow the tutorial is? There's no skip button. When it pops up with something, it just takes like 10 years to continue. I can't skip this. Really? I've got skills in the bottom right. Okay, thanks. Yeah, the game's just like going in slow motion and I can't skip anything. Come on guys, you'd think a skip tutorial, like skip notification button, would just be common sense. There we go. And kill 7 minions. Oh. What is that attack I used? So with the minions running up here, not as controlled, but you can take a look at this. 70, 67. With the payload coming and the minions behind it. 64. So you can just see what we're getting at stock FSR off. And ultra quality, 80. Quality, 90. So if you really want those frames, 100. And yeah, you can see that how little it matters if the background's a little bit blurry when you're in the middle of fighting enemies, if you just need frames. That FSR is so good to have. But we really need it in a Twitch shooter. Like, we need it in some first-person games. We need it in games where the input latency really matters, and having a stable high frame rate is going to make the biggest difference. So, you know, Cyberpunk is a low-performance game that could really use FSR. Valorant, maybe, although Valorant runs really good on most hardware anyway. Hunt Showdown, that would be a nice one. Escape from Tarkov, that would definitely benefit from FSR. Those are actually two really big ones, because those games can look really good, and ideally you want to have your settings turned up a little bit to have that immersion. And when you're playing a FPS game that's got settings that affect immersion, you don't always want to lose all your eye candy for frames. So FSR would be like a good a good way to get some of those frames back. I'm gonna try upgrading my tower's rate of fire.
Guardian is under attack.
It's under attack. Protecting it. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope this gives you a better idea of what FSR does, even though it's just in a playtest. When there's more game support and some first-person shooters come out, that's where I think I can get some real good testing in. Because to be honest, third-person RPGs and this type of game is it helps, like especially if you've got lower-end hardware and you're trying to get into the playable frame rates. But once you're over 60, it's not going to matter that much because the game's not fast-paced enough to really benefit.
Preparation phase.
But yeah, thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content, or if you have any advice or opinions and ideas for future videos, things you want to see tested. I don't own Godfall, so that's why I'm not testing it right now. Otherwise, that would be probably the most likely game to test because of its graphical, quality. So we're the attackers this time. It's not letting me press anything. That was a massive delay. So I can change the right side minions to ranged. Change them both to ranged. And then I can spawn some orcs on the right path. And pick up this. No? I don't think. Still waiting for the tutorial. This is a tutorial delay. I'm not able to do any actions while waiting for it. There we go. You guys need to speed up this tutorial, developers for this game. This tutorial sucks in terms of speed. Like, some of us don't take 10 years to read these tooltips. Can't do anything. There we go. So you can literally, it blocks enemy tower attacks. You can experiment with it. Okay, the attack's about to start. I want to try, does it work if you're not holding it? If I just drop it on top of this thing? It seems to, like the aura is around it, right? Yeah, I think it is. It is AoE working. As long as you have this, you can just kind of keep it with the, yeah, it's moving with the payload. So 69 in this more intensive scene. And now we're back up at 80, 89, 100. Why do I look like the Night King? The heck? Oh, the enemy hero attacks can still hit me. Oh no. I'm just gonna hide behind the payload. Please heal. Go away. It's able to get me like that? Sad. It's weird, the banner just stays there with the payload protecting your minions. So you could win by just making sure you upgrade them with more damage. And I need reactive armor that heals me. Can I get it? I thought I had a... I don't want auto buy. It's only letting me have one. I don't know. The banner got left behind here. Can they move it by attacking it? I don't know. I swear I saw it getting knocked before, like when the enemy used their AoE, I saw the banner getting pushed. Could just be me though. Let's see. We'll see if it moves. Oh, you can just heal like that? I should have known. Beaten by a bot. This respawn time is pretty long. So yeah, we're up in the 100+ range from running quality mode. Otherwise 70-ish. Oh, don't run away and heal again. I'm back here. Not even fair. Why is she so fast? Ah, that's what you get. What's this? Power up, run up. Yeah, you can see those some good FPS stutter there. I wonder if that would have happened if I'd had it on quality. That was with FSR off though. I hope modders can just like put FSR because it's open source. I hope they can put it into just all the games that don't get, you know, supported by the devs. Like technically, you'd think modders could put it into Cyberpunk themselves if Project Red don't, because they're kind of in Nvidia's pocket with the DLSS support. Ranged hero is so good at kiting me. I need reactive armor, but I don't. Oh no, I can buy stuff. Move speed. That will help. Any presence. I want that. Yeah, this game needs some work. I don't know. As an FSR launch title, they probably could have done a bit better. I mean, this is the jump. It's just, I don't know, it feels really basic. But proof of concept at least. I hope they improve the animations over time. Like, this is pretty sad for a jump. Like, what's the purpose? Jump up? No. No. Can it be used effectively for anything? Maybe? Yeah. The upgrades definitely helped. Yeah, beat the tutorial. So yeah, I don't know. Given that, I'm probably going to uninstall this now because I don't like it. They need to work on everything. The animations, the gameplay speed, the texture quality. It is an alpha build though. I mean, for the base, like, it could be fun when they give it a bit more work. But anyway, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.